Irontrader. It is hump day, which means it is crude day. Now, the API report came out last night, and in crude, there was a draw of 3.3 million barrels, but gasoline had a build of 4.7 million barrels. Distillates had a build of 0.8 million, and Cushing had a build of 1 million. So we got to see how that's all going to shake out here today. Remember, the EIA report will be out today at 10:30. Okay, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold and silver, at crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look here at the NQ, which is pretty much flat. It's up about 29 bucks here, but it's pretty flat. Okay, this video is for information only, not a recommendation of advice on the stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily chart. Now let's take a little peek, see what's going on here. Okay. Now, what we had here, we had that nice high of 112.345. But if you look down here at the RSI here, you can see where it got to that overbought condition. See when that green turns blue, and the higher she goes, the more overbought she is getting. Now, we came right on down here. We're putting that series of lower highs and lower lows. But look at this 21-day, how nice that has been holding. Now, what we have to be careful of here is just a couple things. Okay, so we have this candle, and then we have this rise here. Okay, so this could be a possible bear flag situation here. So just be a little bit careful. Now, again, if we close back above the top of this candle here at that 107.90, well, that would negate the pattern. Same way if we close above this 8-day, that would negate that bear flag pattern, okay? But I always like to show you and point out things that just, you just want to make sure you want to check out, okay? Now, on the upside here, we're watching this 8-day. This is very, very keen. But you see how that 8-day is rolling over, 21-day? Eventually, something's going to give. Either that 21-day is going to crack up here and the price goes up, or this 8-day is going to push that price right on down here. Okay, so what we're watching is at 106.856 level, and then we'll come up to yesterday's high at the 107.495 level, and then if we keep on rolling, we come up here at 109.30. We'll come top of this candle here at 109.425, and then we have here 110.175, and then we keep rolling up 110.980, 112.60, and then 112.345. We crack that. 113 is the target, but 115 ultimate is where she's going to be going, okay? Now, downside, this 21-day is everything on a closing basis. That's what we need to hold, okay? 105.92, but I say something's going to give as that 8-day come up and that 21-day, you're either going to crack higher or she's going to crack down lower. Now, if that 21-day is lost, we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at that 104.100 level, okay? Then we can just follow the candles right on down here. You got 102.350. You got 101.705 here. We come down here. You got 101.60. And then we always want to look to the left here. You got 98.615. And then we come down top of this candle, 98.200. And we'll come down to the bottom at 97.350. And then we're going to be looking for this 50 SMA here at 95.91. And then right below where we have that 100 at 94.381 level. Okay. Now, the 50-day is crossed over that 100-day. And I say this is going on a nice, good parabolic, but I don't like that 8-day rolling over. So I say something's going to give here. But just watch this for a possible, I say, bear flag situation here. So if it gets we start losing that 21-day, she can fall pretty hard all the way on down. Okay. Now, here we go. We have only 60 that could go either way. Your green, blue, your red. That shows momentum to the downside. But we just have to be a little bit leery here. So today we watch that 21-day on the downside and watch that 8-day on the upside. Okay, take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now you can see here gold has a really, really nice good run up here. But we still have a high, we have a lower high, and we still have a lower high situation. So we still have a downtrending a chart going on here. Okay, so always remember that until we can get above that 340, 48 level. Okay, so what we're looking here today so far, we have that what they call an inside day. Your high and low is the inside of the previous day. So what we're looking at is yesterday's high. Okay, 34.17 level. Okay, we get above that and we'll come right here 34.22. That was your resistance level, and then we have 34.48. Obviously, if we crack that, then you're going right to that 35.09. You crack that, 35.50 is going to be your target. Okay, now you can see the 8-day crossed that 21-day. And she's holding up very, very nicely. Look how nice this is holding on a closing basis. Very, very nice. Now, this here, we have a big green candle, and then we have this it's going a little bit lower. So this could be a possible bull flag situation here too. Okay, just the opposite of what you had there in the Bitcoin. Okay, now again, if we start losing the 8-day and the 21-day, well, that would negate the pattern. But right now we're looking here very, very nicely. Okay, so on the downside, you want to watch that 33.49 on a closing basis. And we want to watch that 33.09, that 21-day. And then we'll come to the bottom of the candle here, 32.69. And then we have your 50-day at 32.56, which you have to respect because it held. Okay, and it held very, very nicely. Now, RSI only at 57. That could go in either direction. The green is over your red here. This just looks very, very bullish kind of a situation. If we crack above that 34.48, you're gonna hit that 35.09 retest real quick. Now, again, we can't just pop and drop like we had here. You gotta, it's gotta blast all the way on up kind of a situation. Okay, that's the key. But right now here, let's just watch this. Okay, so watch that 8-day, the 21-day on the downside, and then that next would be the 50-day upside. We're gonna be watching yesterday's candle, that high, that low. Okay, 34.17 high, and 33.57 a low, and then we're gonna watch that 34.48 level. That's gonna be very, very crucial on a closing basis. Now we look at silver here. Now, silver here, we had just like a total paint dryer, just basically chop. And then we had this huge blowout. Now, this could be another good possible bull flag situation building. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. So what we're watching on here on the upside is that 34.94 level. Okay, so if we crack above that, then we'll come up here at that 35 flat. Then we'll look up here, top of this candle, 35.40, and then 35.49 is your breakout. You crack that, and then you're going to be heading towards that 40 level, okay? So just watch this possible bull flag. Possible, I always say, okay, because a lot of things could change, okay? So just always watch it. Now, again, if it starts to sell off, you want to watch yesterday's low, 34.16 level, and then we want to watch the top of this candle, 33.91, and then we start coming right through 8-day at 33.86. 33.26, and then we have your 50-day there at that 32.97. So everything is sitting pretty much right here. But this big candle here, and we have this little flag going here. This could break out and go much higher kind of situation. RSI only sitting at 61, plenty of room to run. Green over your red. This is looking very, very good now after we had that consolidation. Always remember when you consolidate this, and look how nice it held that 100-day the whole time. Every time it consolidates, what it does is it builds energy. And you can see right here, boom, she popped right on up. Sometimes it can go down, sometimes it can go up. But sometimes when you get that sideways action, you're building energy. And when she rips, she rips. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Okay, here we have crude oil, here we have natural gas. Now, crude oil here, we gotta really kind of don't have an opinion on this, I should say, okay? Because what we have is we have this left shoulder, we have this head, we have this right shoulder. We have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I know we didn't come all the way down to the low here of the 55.12. We only made it down to 55.30. But realistically, this is a good inverse head and shoulders pattern. And when this rips, this could blast right up to that 200-day very, very easily here, okay? So what we're really watching on the upside is going to be that 64.19. That's going to be key. And then the top of this candle right here at that 64.87. That's going to be very, very crucial. Now, if we can get above all that here, well, then we go right here to the bottom of this candle. What you're looking at is 65.22. That's your next level. And then we'll come to the bottom here at 66.09. And then we come up here to 67.02. And then we come up 68.89. That's going to be your target. But when you look at this, this left shoulder, that head, that right shoulder, man, if this thing cracks, this could go right up. Because what you do is you measure from the midline down to the bottom of that candle, and then you flip that over, and that's how many points that you can have going on the upside here. But anyway, you'll be tagging that 100-day and that 200-day very, very easily here, okay? So we got to see if it all plays out. Sometimes they don't play out here, okay? So just remember that. Now, the 8-day is above the 21-day. They're both curling up nicely here. So on the downside, what we're watching for a key support level is this 62.72. That's your 50-day. And then we're going to watch at 62.02, and then we're going to watch at 61.58. Now, it's kind of a torn because you got seasonality in one way for crude oil, okay? And then we also have the fires that are going on there in Canada, and which basically a couple of refiners there, they had to shut down, but you're shutting down 350,000 barrels a day, okay? Now, OPEC is pumping in 411 million barrels a day extra here in June and July and maybe even August. But let's just see how this all shakes out here, okay? And then if there's any kind of disruption or oil or, wars or whatever, just be very, very careful here. But we do have an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. If it does play out, we're going to go to that 200-day like nothing. Okay, Now we have this old natural gas. Now you can see here, this really isn't doing a whole lot here, okay? Just kind of a sideways action. However, look how we have this pole here, okay? And then we have these little red flags here. So we have a bull flag situation possibly building here, okay? So if that takes off here, what we're looking for on the upside is going to be that 3.84. You crack above it, you can go right here at that 3.93. That's going to be your next resistance level. And then right up here, you got 408, 415, 420, 425. That's going to be all your upside targets in the short term here if we can crack that and close above that 384 level. Now, downside, we're hanging right around this 370 level. That's going to be key. But now you look at, see how that 8-day crossed over that 21-day and 50-day? That's going to provide very, very good support along with this possible bull flag that is building here, okay? So you want to watch that 8-day, 355. You want to watch that 50-day, 352. And then we want to watch 350. Everything is hanging right here. But as that 8-day goes up, you're providing very, very good support levels here for this, just like say we have here. Okay, just like the 8-day provides big time resistance levels. Now this could be 5 very good support levels we have here, and we crack that 384, then we're going to go much higher. Okay, 56, plenty of room to run. Green over your red. This is looking very, very good. Let's see if that bull flag there will pay off. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old NQ Nasdaq futures. Okay, here we have the old NQ. Now we have the old Nasdaq futures going here, and it's looking here pretty good. Now we had this nice V-shaped recovery going here, and then we had this consolidation, and then we had to look at topping tail, but it didn't really play off here. It came down, and you notice how we're holding that 8-day very nice. So now we're consolidating. Okay, so on the downside, what we're watching, key level is going to be this 21.559 level. Okay, if that's lost here, we come to the bottom of this candle here at 21.163. But this is what you're really looking at right here is this 21.118. This 21-day, I always look at it. If you lose that 8-day, it's kind of like a catch-all. You'll come right on down there, and that's what will hold it. Just like when it's like resistant levels, okay? So you break through the 8-day, and then what happened? Boom, 21-day held it. Okay, see like that? Now times now, and it's just a reverse as it's going on to the upside. Okay, so basically you want to watch that 8-day and you want to watch that 21-day. If that's lost, we come right on here to that 25.19 level, which is your 100-day and your 200 SMA here. Okay, but on the upside, this is what we're watching very, very closely is this 21.858. Now, if we close above that level, then we have some really nice targets all the way up here, okay? So you always want to look to the left of the chart here. You got 22.93 level. We come up here, we have 22.248, and then we come up there, you have 22.319, and then here's the big target, is going to be that 22.450, and then we crack above that, we're going to go new highs, okay? So just always remember that. But let's just see how we have this sideways consolidation here, but we're holding that 21-day, which is going to be very, very key. Now, again, here we are running into like a seasonality kind of a situation here for the market. But right now, it doesn't want to seem to give up the old ghost. It looks like people are pouring money into the old market here. So let's just see how this all going to be shaken out here today. Okay. Now, remember, EIA report for crude oil will be out today at 10:30, and we'll have to see how it all confirms. And remember, watch that inverse head and shoulders on that crude oil. If that blasts through that level there, that especially that 64.87, she will rip much, much higher. Okay, I'll be back here midday trading, and we'll take a look at some stocks. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.